If somebody comes after miracles, it is not by faith they are coming, it is not the belief which they have. They see and believe this is not what Jesus wants. That will become an unfair means, or it will become unrighteousness. So he says to you, you would understand how such a great treasure can exist within that donut only after you eat it. What does that mean? You can understand it only after coming to this church and only after showing your faith by participating in the Mass and only after believing that Jesus is present in that host. That is only after you believe in it and come into the church. If I explain it now, you will become one who knows good and evil. That's what we saw in Genesis 3:22. My master has commanded me not to break down and explain how this is possible before you eat. The master, that's what I read to you from Matthew 13 and chapter. Master means Jesus or God here. He says that we should maintain the secrets of the kingdom of heaven, and that is what is said here. My master has commanded me not to break down and explain this mystery, explain how this is possible before you eat it, before you eat the food, the Eucharist, before you believe in Eucharist. This cannot be explained to you. It is said in the Bible. That's why my master means God is not healing those people of other denominations. Only if God heals them, they can understand. This is the problem with them. Only if God gives, they can understand and come. If they don't love God, God will not give. That is the key which God holds in His hand. Because cheaters should not enter the kingdom of God. Cheaters what? What do I mean by cheaters? They cheat God as if they love God. God does not want these people. He calls them as hypocrites. So, only if God heals them, they can understand the secrets of the kingdom of heaven and so on. That is because it is a mystery, a secret of my master's plan. Mystery means the secret of God's plan. If that secret were revealed, anyone and everyone would come to the banquet, which means anyone and everyone will come to Catholic Church if that is revealed. If it is shown that this host will turn into flesh of Christ, and if you give it to the scientist to check it and find out whether it has a DNA of Jesus, whether it has the blood group of Jesus and so on, then the whole world will come. Then there is no faith with them. There is no asking for them. Then there is no belief. There is no love for God and so on. It goes. That's why it is said like this. If that secret were revealed, anyone and everyone would come to the banquet. Therefore, I must invite without revealing the mystery. This is what the church is telling to the other denominations. See, you know what they said when they tried this. Let us agree to disagree, is what they said. The church tried to unify all the church, all the denominations together. Those people, they argued in such a way that in the end they agreed to disagree, because their faith is different and our faith is different. We cannot agree. Go to 2 Corinthians 6 chapter from 14th verse to 16. You see, this thing will be there, that we cannot go with them. Well, I will try to read it to you. Wait a minute. Since we have little time, I think I can read. 2 Corinthians 6 chapter from 14th verse I will read. Do not be mismatched with unbelievers. For what partnership is there between righteousness and lawlessness? Or what fellowship is there between light and darkness? What agreement does Christ have with Satan? Beliar is another word for this evil spirit, so we'll put Satan there. Or what does a believer share with an unbeliever? What agreement has the temple of God with idols? For we are the temple of the living God. And it goes like that. So, we should not get mismatched with unbelievers. This is what is said there. So, when they come, they should come as believers. That's why it is said like that. So, if everything is proved that the Eucharist has the DNA of Jesus, the blood group of Jesus, and so on, then there is no need for a belief there. If the secrets are revealed, anyone and everyone would come to the banquet. Therefore, I must invite without revealing the mystery. The invitation is given to us through the Bible is inviting us to participate in the banquet. In this new covenant, it is inviting us to participate, to become covenantal people. It is inviting us to join God's family without revealing the mystery. Mystery should not be revealed. And then when he heard this, Martin heard this, then the excuse-making man called Holy Martin, the first separationist, said, I am not prepared to believe what you are saying. That fellow Martin says, sola scriptura, which means only through the Bible. Only the Bible we should believe is what he says, and through his belief he said this. There is no traditional teaching in the church that will save us. There is no catechism of the Catholic Church, is what he says. They don't believe in catechism of the Catholic Church. There is no need for church and all, he says. It's there, he says, means their doctrines, their belief. They say that there is no need for a church between them and God. And he does not believe in the covenant. It's Martin, you are listing out the sins, the fault, why God cannot choose them. Because they don't ask in all these ways. They don't believe in the traditional teaching which speaks about divine filiation or filial adoption. They don't believe in this catechism of the Catholic Church which is being gathered or compiled in this 2000 years of church history. Then they say there is no need for a church. Then they say there is no need for a covenant, the new covenant. If at all he believes in the new covenant, then he knows why that there should be a church. He will know how this church gets its authority. If this fellow comes, he will know that the church has the authority from Peter downwards. The authority the church has is to make this new covenant on behalf of God. See, to make this new covenant, one needs an authority, an authorization from God to act as a representative of God. The authority the church has is to make this new covenant on behalf of God, as representative of God, as the power agent of God. So for them, the church is just an institution. It is an organization where the head of the church may be anyone, and for us it is the Pope, because the authority has been handed over from Jesus to this Pope through tradition, and without authority there is no church. But for them, church and other things and all are religion. For them, since they believe that it is a religion, we believe that this is a family. So for them, there is no need for a church. They call their gathering as church. But according to their doctrines, they have no church as such, or they have no church as how the Catholic Church is having. Because for us, it is a family. For them, it is an organization. An organization can be started by anybody, anywhere, anytime. But this family cannot be done like that. It needs parents. It needs family members. And so, these parents come in the form of tradition. You cannot all of a sudden have a parent. After about 25 years living in this world, suddenly you cannot go and be born in somebody's womb. Never. By that only, this is a family. This cannot be suddenly started. It needs an authority from God to start this family or to maintain this family on behalf of God. You must not see this Catholic faith as a religion. This is actually a family. We have already shown to you CCC 2779, so on, where this false image is torn from this world, and all we saw, this idol worship we saw, and all.